Hello, I'm FPX and this is Q&A Saturday, the weekly series I know on my channel. I answer your questions from the previous Q&A that I did run on the channel. This is a fun back and forth where I get to answer your biggest questions on a semi-weekly basis about life, the universe, and of course Minecraft updates. And the next Q&A is going to be in a couple of weeks, and it's going to be while I'm in Japan. I'm in Japan for quite a few weeks, and I'm going to be answering questions from there. So if you want to ask any questions about Japan or about anything to do with that, you can leave them in the comments down below, and we'll be picking them for the next Q&A, which will be a Japanese Q&A or whatever. So that's going to be a fun time. Looking forward to seeing you there. But for now, let's move into the first question from this week's Q&A, which comes from the last one. Again, it's an obvious system for a lot of people, but just in case you don't know, every Q&A, the comments down below are for the next Q&A, and the comments down below for that for the one after that. But yeah, let's move into the first question, which came from the last one, and it was to do with the shed tour, because Firegate asks, what's the story behind the sausage in the shed door? And yeah, that was the grossest thing. If you didn't watch the last week's Q&A, you're not missing out. You just got to see the worst sausage in the world. The story behind the sausage there was just, I had this shed, and the door on the shed was just rattling back and forth. There was no easy way for me to latch this. I could have gone a lock or whatever, but I was just like, I need to stop this rattling. It's a little bit worrying. It's loud. It's probably annoying the neighbors. And I was just like, okay, what's the easiest way to fix this? A stick. The stick kept falling through or breaking or whatever. And then I was like, you know what? I've got some sausages that are kind of out of date. I have to throw them away anyway. Let's put a sausage in the lock. And because sausages are like kind of like a natural material, it will fit in there just perfectly. It will clog up the lock and it will make it impossible for it to shut. Basically like a biological lock, if you will. And then I just forgot about it. And now I really don't want to go near it, because even thinking about when I touched it last week to knock it off, I need to wash my hands every time I think about that memory. Like I've never felt this like awful about anything. But yeah, so that's it's the grossest thing that I'm trying to push out my memory and push for future Toy Cat to deal with. And speaking of future Toy Cat, he also has to answer this question right now, which is from FMeat, who asks, why do you need an editor? Your videos barely require any editing. So first of all, I think that might be a compliment, or maybe he's just saying I don't edit them very often, and therefore like what's the editor doing? But I'll take it as the compliment. Thank you. I'm glad you don't think the videos need editing. But the truth is you know, like maybe 60% of the channel, I try to minimize the editing required, because I don't think I'm very good at editing, and I don't enjoy editing, and also I don't think it usually, I think a lot of people, you know, can over edit stuff, so it's like, okay, let's be careful with that. But the reason that the other 40% of videos require more than just a little touch to combine audio and video and add the questions on screen like right now is because sometimes we want to do something fun with it, and because sometimes we want to do this and that. And yeah, the editor, Mr. Potato Man is what I call him, but he's been really helping me out with that, and he does a really good job editing. Like it's one of his favorite things, and that seems like a good thing. Like you get to see more edited, better videos. In the case of stuff like, you know, the challenge runs of Minecraft, the, you know, 1 week Minecraft realm experiments, even stuff like the randomized input from this week. Some of those videos come from him where, again, it's like a fun back and forth. We get to do stuff together, and I think it's not only that it produces videos that I think are better quality or whatever, but it also means when new people find the channel, they're like, oh yeah, I like this. This matches better what else is out there on YouTube. So yeah, I really like having like a nice fast-paced intro. If that's what, you know, draws people in to hopefully enjoy the rest of the channel, it's something I think you kind of need to do on like on a business level or whatever, but also just on a making things that you enjoy level. So yeah, he helps me edit videos where I know they need editing, but I'm not good at editing and I don't really like editing. And yeah, basically there's the answer to your question. Hope it makes sense now, because a lot of people think that all my videos are edited by him, and a lot of people think that, like, you know, like if they're all edited by him, why is this one such a bad job? No, the truth is I send a few videos a week maybe, and yeah, he edits them in his free time. It's a fun back and forth. I like it. So let's move into the next question, which comes in from Great Gander, who says, have you ever tried Oreos with mayonnaise? You should. And the answer is no, but you know what? Maybe we should try this.
So this comment probably is a troll, but I can't help but be curious, so I'm going into my cupboard where my travel stuff is. If you don't know, I have a shot glass from every country I've ever been to. I also bring back some snacks sometimes, and I thought I had Oreos, but as it turns out I don't. I've just got some Jaffas, some Reese's, some Jaggerbee, and also I've got some Twinkies that I brought back from America one time, I think. So yeah, I've got some Twinkies here. This is basically an Oreo, right? I've got some mayonnaise, or some chili mayonnaise. You know what? We're going to combine these two things together. It's going to be great. There we go, that's some mayonnaise on a plate. Now we've just got to unwrap the Twinkie. So we've got our mayonnaise, we've got our Twinkie, which is basically an Oreo, right? Like, I mean, it's the same basic principle. And let's see what happens here then, shall we? Oh my god, oh god, no. Oh, for a second there, Open can! Okay, that was the worst. That was literally the worst. So yeah, comment is a troll. And my mouth tastes like chili and chocolate, but not in the good way. 0 out of 10, would not recommend.
So yeah, I'm back at my PC. That was awful, but let's move into the next question, which comes in from Nathan's Nature Channel, who says, IBX Toycat, I have a question. Could you do some live streams at different times so people from the other side of the world can watch it live? And the answer to this question is yeah, I totally will, but also totally already do. So whenever a Minecraft console-based thing comes out, I stream at like 10 a.m. UK time. That hasn't really been so common anymore because, again, we have the TU streams, but they're kind of like Bedrock updates rehashed a couple of weeks after. But yeah, there will be some live streams at entirely different times. The truth is, my sleep schedule is pretty broken. As you're watching this, I'm about to break it some more. And when that happens, I tend to stop streaming at my usual 8 p.m. Sometimes it goes earlier, sometimes it goes later, but hopefully you'll find a stream at your time. If you want to guarantee that you do see it, by the way, I always recommend hitting the bell or like, you know, just like following on Twitter so you get like a half an hour heads up, because yeah, otherwise you might like miss the one stream that's actually at your time. Because the problem with varying up live streams is a lot of people can't catch them all, because it's easy to tell people, come watch at 8 p.m. every day there's a stream, but if it's 8 p.m., maybe 10, maybe 12, maybe 6 a.m., it's harder to follow that one. So yeah, if you want to see the streams when I'm back from Japan, then just, I don't know, turn on notifications or something like that, and then you too can see the live streams. Anyway, let's move on to the next question, which is from That's Cool, who says, fun question, what's your least favorite question to have to answer? Thanks, Toycat. So there's a bunch of these, you know, like funny people who are like, what's your most repetitive question? In the video where I said, what's the most repetitive question? Very funny meme, by the way. But my least favorite question, like, in case you're curious, like, you know what, my whole goal is to be answered on Q&A Saturday. I don't care about what question it is, I just want to be answered. One, that's a weird thing, but like, fair enough if that's a thing that exists. Let me explain to you what I really hate reading in the comments. It's when people don't understand, like, the concept of, I guess, other people. Like, a lot of people ask Q&A Saturday questions that are entirely based around them, or that have been answered before, or have been like this. So like, hey Toycat, what do you think about my new skin? And it's like, I don't see your new skin. Even if I did, I don't think this is very interesting to most people. Or hey Toycat, what do you think about Kim Kardashian's new look? And it's like, this isn't something I know about. It isn't something most people besides yourself care about. And you get that on like the nth degree or whatever, where it's people asking like, so hey Toycat, why don't you ever ask my questions? And the answer is simple, like, well, there's a lot of questions, and statistically, I pick a small portion of them. But like, people, I don't know, something about people who can't see the world outside their own view, even in the tiniest way, something about that really annoys me, and you see that a lot in Q&A Saturday comment sections sometimes. It's not actually a large proportion of comments, it's just when I do see it, it makes me a little bit mad. And anyway, with that said, those are the questions I don't like receiving, and the questions I do like are the ones that end up on Q&A Saturday, except that Oreo mayonnaise question. That question can go to hell. But with that said, let's move into the next question, shall we? Which comes in from Hunkboy, very bizarre name by the way, but he says, Q&A, yo fam dog, what has been your motivation for all the jobs you've had over the past years? If I remember correctly, you stayed in a game review website or something when you were 12. I don't know what voice that was, by the way. I literally have no clue. But your main man, the fam dog, is asking, so what's the deal with, like, you know, I mentioned before, like, I did a lot of weird things on the internet before YouTube, like, oh yeah, so I was like I had a game site, I was a game reviewer for a bit, I wrote a lot of news for a little bit in there, and it's like, so, and I owned a website to do advertising. What's with all those different things, and like, why did I do them all? You know, most 12-year-olds don't do stuff like that, so why did I? And the simple answer to this one, like, you know, why did I do lots of different jobs / forms of work? The simple answer is like money, right? Like, I don't want to be that guy who's like, I do it for the self-fulfillment. No, in reality, like, I grew up in a fairly poor household, I think it'd be fair to say, and it was one of those situations where like getting a hold of money would just be tricky at all times, and it's like, I need money for this, sorry, you can't, like, we just don't have money right now. It's like, okay, so I can't do the thing I want to do now. You know, I really want to collect this, and it's like, well, sorry about that. I really want a new game. Well, you know, like, sometimes maybe when we're feeling rich, but most of the time no. And yeah, so basically I just as soon as I found any way to make money online, I was like, oh my god, I can actually get access to money now, this is amazing. And yeah, after I realized you could make money doing pretty much like, there's lots of trashy jobs out there where you can just basically trade your time for money, I was like, man, you know, these are it's cool making money this way. But then I realized, like, you know, there was like a subsection of game writing, like, I can write about my favorite things in the world, you know, games, teach people how to play RuneScape, all these different things, and someone's gonna pay me for that. It's this really interesting, like, contrast between getting paid to trade your time and do something you don't like, when then you can realize, like, oh, I could get paid the same or even more because it's more specialized to do something I like. That's the drive to move on to that. And then slowly, just like doing things that I liked in exchange for money kind of changed a little bit over time. And that's kind of the story about how YouTube started too. Like, oh yeah, I posted videos before you could make money from them, and then one day, long after they launched the partner program, they actually decided to make it so even gaming channels could monetize under a network, and then boom, there was now a way to make money from this cool hobby of sharing game stuff. Yeah, So that's kind of what happened. I know that's the dream. It makes it sound like I'm living this perfect life, but it's kind of what happened. Like I worked because I wanted money. I kind of made up jobs as I was going along because I needed to earn some money, and I was willing to go through whatever effort it took. I had spare time, and I was motivated on the subject of money, and that's kind of how we ended up where we are, and that's why I did all of those jobs. Maybe that's the answer you're looking for, but either way, let's move into the next question, which comes in from 32-bit link. This ain't no 16-bit link. This is the next era up, because he asks, question, why do you pay for a domain name, but it just redirects to your channel? Are you going to make a website? So yeah, I bought the ibxtoycat.com domain like a long time ago now, like 5 years back, and yeah, at first it was just like, okay, we're gonna get, I really wanted to make a website with it. I didn't want anyone else to take the name, just in case I got big and forgot about it. Kind of like how ibxtoycat is taken on Fortnite, or on like, I don't know, like, I think Toycat's taken on PSN. There's a bunch of examples just like, someone decides to take your stuff, not because they need it or they can do anything with it, just because it's fun for you not to have something you want. It's it's a tragic fact about the internet and usernames, but it's true. So I got the domain registered. I pay $8 a year or something to keep it up. So, you know, that's like $50 in the last 6 years. So yeah, why do I pay money for the domain if it just redirects to YouTube? By the way, try right now going to ibxtoycat.com. It's crazy what happens. But yeah, I had this really big goal a while ago, because back when I bought the domain in like 2013, 14, basically the idea was like, okay, YouTube is really bad at like helping people find the right playlist, helping people find the next video for the right sort of thing. I make lots of different styles of content, so an easy way for people to sort through the type of thing they want would be to go to ibxtoycat.com. If you wanted to find Steeds, you could go there and like see them reviewed by different, you know, you'd actually be able to sort videos in different ways as opposed to just hoping you find the right one. Like, I still do have this concern to this day that I have 5,000 videos, and it's really hard for you to find those videos. Like, if you wanted to, like, if you wait for them to show up on your homepage, you'll get them shown in like a random order that maybe YouTube likes. If you go diving into them, which of those 5,000 videos is the one that's perfect for you? It's really hard to know, and that's why I had the idea of like, start a website, help people find the sorts of Toycat videos they want to find. And the only reason I didn't start it in the end is because at the time, you know, most YouTube viewers were from PC. These days, something like 70% of people on my channel watch YouTube on their phones, and because of that, it's like, well, I could make a website, but then people would have to switch from the YouTube app to their browser, and like making mobile websites, it's not going to be as efficient or easy or intuitive, because typing is like the few extra steps. So it's like, you can make an app, but then you still got to convince people, switch from app to app, whereas before it'd just be click a link in a browser. Now you've got to like go through so many steps, and I think all the YouTubers that start apps, it never really goes anywhere, right? Like, it's not a great idea, it's not a good use of my time compared to making more videos, or going to Japan, or eating you know, Twinkies with mayonnaise. So yeah, that's the answer to the question. It's a bit of a long one, but again, now you know, and that's the great thing. So the final question here comes in from Sniper Games OP, who says, why do you say question mark, question mark? And no, it's one of those things that I didn't even really spot that I was doing, but I was like, yeah, I did read that as, why do you say question mark, question mark? And you'll notice in a lot of Q&As, I say question mark at the end of a lot of questions. And yeah, I wish there was a real answer. I mostly wanted to bring up this question as like, whoa, you're right, man, I didn't even realize I was saying it. But it's mostly just like, I feel like when you're saying things out loud, you kind of need to say the emojis, because, you know, not everyone's going to be listening to this in pure, you know, visual glory, you know, with all the other stuff. So, you know, basically it's like a double thing. Part of it is my defense of like, well, some people aren't going to be watching and can't read it. And the other part is mostly just like, well, it became a habit. I just read out punctuation. I think it was probably like a fun joke at the start, and then it became just this weird whole thing. That's how a lot of, you know, channels go a lot of places. And I guess it's how I ended up saying question mark at the end of sentences that are questions. So there you go. There's the answer to your question. I've got one more here, and I wanted to bring it up because it's a really good question. And so the Fear Offender asks Q, what happened to the new menus? And simple answer, really good question. Actual answer to it is it's probably coming in 1.11 if I had to guess, because obviously, you know, 1.11 is going to be a game-changing update. It's like 1.14, but we don't actually know for sure. We assumed it'd be coming in, you know, before the end of the year. I think what they're realistically planning to do is they just want to do a lot of internal, you know, checking, like how many people click here, how many people get confused, how many people buy store content, is it higher, is it lower? If it's lower, then, you know, you're going to make that higher. I think they want to do all the internal tracking because they have confirmed they do wild amounts of like user testing. The reason it took so long for them to make Minecraft content purchasable via coins is because, like, oh yeah, is that going to lead to better purchase click-through rates, or is it going to lead through worse ones? And yeah, that's why I think with new menus, they want to do a lot of testing. They want to do the last bit of refining, and I think we'll see the new menus appear, you know, either in their final form or just in the same form, but actually in the game sometime in the future, because 1.10 isn't too far away, and 1.11 is the update I would say is most logical to see it, but who knows for sure. All we know is I hope you all enjoyed today's Q&A Saturday. You can like it if you did like it, you can share it if you really did like it, and you can subscribe if you're new around here, because I make videos like this one one, sometimes on the channel, and you can look forward to seeing the next Q&A, which is going to be in a couple of weeks. It's going to be in Japan. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be the first Q&A I think I've recorded outside the country, so look forward to Japan Q&A, if you will, a J Q&A, a J&A, Japan and answer. You know, that's what we're gonna call it. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all for some of the best videos, some of the stuff I'm most excited about over the next week or two while I'm away. Because like I've said before, when I go away, instead of just doing filler content, I try to put my very best stuff out there. So you got a lot of fun stuff to look forward to. At least I'm looking forward to it, and I guess if you do, then that's your own choice. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in all of that over the next couple of weeks. Goodbye.